Hello, Rama Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, relaxed, peaceful. Now, let's go to chapter 28, part 2. You are in the hands of God. Now, Ramdas further retraced his steps and neared the precipitous rock where he had separated from the two friends. As he was making for it, a voice called him from the riverside. He halted and saw two mountaineers. Certainly, it was Ram in those forms, filling their pitchers with water at the river. One of them came towards him and inquired whither he was going. Ramdas told him that he wanted to visit Vashistashram, but since Ram had not shown the way, he was returning. Ram's ways are wonderful, the man said. Vashistram, Vashistashram is still far away. There is no path by the bank of the river. You have to climb up the tall mountain in front. Thereon, you see a footpath in the midst of the jungle. You must take it. On reaching the top, you should descend to the other side, where you will observe from a distance the dome of a mandir. Taking it as your mark, you proceed towards it, and you will reach Shivapuri, a small village in which the temple stands. He pointed again to the foot track. A thin streak of it could be seen on the high mountain. Ramdas at once ran on it to it. Up and up he climbed. It was a steep ascent, but Ramdas did not stop even to take breath. The divine power in him had gifted him with a marvelous agility and unusual endurance. An hour's walk brought him to the summit, wherefrom he could observe the dome of the mandir referred to by the mountaineer. Here commenced the descent. It must be noted that the mountain was covered with a dense forest. On the occasions, he had to wriggle through the mazy growth of shrubs and trees. He ran down the incline at full speed. At the bottom, he met again the welcome river. He drank to his fill its nectar like water and proceeded to Shivapuri, which was now close by. Ramdas found in the village, besides the temple, only about 5 or 6 huts of cultivators. One of the cultivators, seeing him, invited him to his hut. Ramdas entered and sat on the mat spread out for him. He beheld a bonny baby playing near a grinding stone. He got the baby at once on his lap and began to fondle and laugh with it. The cultivator and his wife were tenderly watching him as though a new child has come to them to play with theirs. Now he told them that he was on his way to Vashistashram. Both of them gazed at him with wonder. He was not only alone but had nothing with him except his long coat of kadar, a cheap sweater as underwear, which he handed to the cultivator friend before leaving the place, and a piece of blanket. Look here, Sadhuji, the cultivator said. It is getting dark. It was then about 6:30 evening when Ramdas reached the village. You may occupy the temple for the night. My wife will send you some khichdi. As for your trip to Vashistashram, I do not know what to tell you. There is no proper route to it, and without a guide, you cannot dream of reaching it. I know people of your sort cannot be persuaded to give up the venture, so I would tell you this much. Go along the bank for about 2 miles and you will see on the opposite side of the river a projecting group of trees bending over the river. Mark this spot, just facing this clump of rivers. On your side on the hill, you will discover a footpath. Here, abandoning the river bank, take to the footpath and climb up the hill. Further, how shall I instruct you? You are in the hands of God, and He will see to it. With these words, he accompanied Ramdas to the mandir where he left him. In due course, the khichdi came. It tasted heavenly, for it was full of prem, love. The interior of the temple was about 7 feet square. Its spire was high up in the air. The whole structure was built on a raised stone platform. The doors were open. The last streaks of light of the dying day entering the temple displayed to Ramdas view a number of small brass images of God on a low white stool standing against the back wall of the temple. On the wall over the images on two pegs were also hanging a coarse red cashmere shawl. As evening approached, cold had set in. Ramdas spread the blanket he had brought with him on the floor, and removing the temple shawl, he covered himself with it and lay down. Indeed, the Divine Mother of the universe is ever watchful to protect her children. No sooner had Ramdas closed his eyes than he heard somebody stepping into the temple. Ramdas opened his eyes and sat to find a man sitting before him. In the dim light, his features were not visible. I am the pujari of this temple, he introduced himself. He scrutinized Ramdas closely, then touched and felt the shawl, and then looking at the pegs on the wall, he exclaimed, "So you have taken the shawl. It belongs to Thakurji," meaning God. Ramdas then put him a simple question. Can you show Ramdas where your Thakurji is? At once he cried out, I beg your pardon, blind fool that I am. You are he. You are he. You have every right to use it, Maharaj. Instantly, he was all kindness and love. He further said, May I get you something to eat? I have food ready in my house. It will be no small joy for me to feed you. Pray, accept my humble fare. Ramji, Ramdas replied. Ramdas had already had his meals. Thanks for your kindness. You are Ramji indeed. He then left Ramdas. That's all, folks. Let's see in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Puppodu.